May marks 15 years since the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. And new tonight, we have learned the main investigation into her case is coming to a close with no real answers as to what happened to her. Madeleine was just 3 years old on vacation with her family in Portugal when she vanished in 2007. She was napping in the family's hotel while her parents were dining nearby. And that was the last time anyone saw her. Madeleine's case captured the world's attention, and over the years, there has been only one suspect, now in jail on other charges. And still to this day, he maintains he had nothing to do with her disappearance. After 15 years, British investigators will close the missing persons case of Madeleine McCann. Taxpayer funding for the investigation expires in September, and years later, the prime suspect may not face charges. The closest the case came to being solved centered around a German handyman, Christian Bruckner. Bruckner worked as a handyman at the Ocean Club in Praia da Luz, where the McCanns were staying in May of 2007. A documentary recreated the scene that night Madeleine vanished, claiming Bruckner would have easily been able to kidnap the little girl. Around her disappearance, police were also looking into sexual assaults targeting British girls in the area.
There is sufficient significance in terms of the consistent features amongst the offences which make us believe that they are connected.
Filmmakers also combed through phone records showing Bruckner was no more than 5 minutes away from the Ocean Club when Madeleine went missing. Bruckner was first named a potential suspect in 2017 and later becoming the only suspect in Madeleine's disappearance after investigators found a child's toy bucket in his backyard. He still claims his innocence to this day, writing letters to journalists saying he did not abduct her. There is no physical evidence tying Bruckner to McCann. And right now, Bruckner is serving time in a German prison for a 2005 rape. McCann's parents hold on to hope that Madeleine is still out there.
There's no evidence to suggest that she's come to any harm. There's good reason to think that she is out there alive.
It was a heartbreaking case 15 years ago, and it still is today, and such a mystery surrounding Madeleine's disappearance. Alex Stowell is the co-host of a True Crime and Chill podcast and has been following Madeleine's disappearance for years. Alex, we appreciate you joining us tonight. I think the biggest question I want to know is, why is the case coming to a close? She hasn't been found.
I appreciate you guys having me on here tonight. Honestly, I think I really have the same questions that everybody else has. I know that I was 15 when this case first came out. I remember seeing this just beautiful little girl on the face of a magazine, and it just, the words missing above her head. And I just started kind of looking into it. And though it seems they have a suspect in custody, I don't think they have enough credible evidence and to put him away for it. Unfortunately, they haven't found Maddie. They haven't found any evidence that other than the fact that he was actually in the area when she disappeared, and the fact that he actually sexually assaulted another woman 2 years prior in that same area. Mm-hmm. They don't have any evidence. They don't have anything else that can convict. And I know over here in America.
Were there major missteps early on in the investigation? I know there were multiple agencies involved.
Yes.
I mean, was it messy to begin with and evidence and clues were lost?
Yes. When the night Maddie went missing, everybody just kind of started looking for her. It wasn't until a little bit later that police actually started getting involved. When they did get involved, they did massive searches, but the Portugal police kind of looked at her parents as the main suspects, which kind of happens in cases like this because it does happen frequently. But because they looked at them, so basically under a microscope, they didn't really look anywhere else. They didn't preserve the crime scene. They didn't go back with cadaver dogs to the actual apartment that they were staying at until 3 months after Maddie had gone missing. And by then, many families had actually gone in and out of that apartment multiple times in those 3 months. So anything that they may have found could have come from any one of those families that had been in there.
What did the parents say about this? Not only the case being closed, but we mentioned and alluded that they still have hope that there's a chance she's out there somewhere alive.
You know, as a mom myself, I have 3 amazing boys. I am hoping that she is actually out there alive somewhere. I'm hoping that maybe something happened and she grew up with another family and they just kind of maybe kept her secluded. I mean, in cases of Elizabeth Smart and JC Dugard, who was found after 19 years, it can happen. But I know that they probably are upset and hurt that, this case is coming to a close and they still haven't gotten their baby girl home.
Mm-hmm. Well, and with so much attention on the parents, Alex, to begin with, and also on Bruckner, has there ever been another suspect in this case that may have been overlooked that they could revisit?
As far as I know, no. They had a initial suspect in the beginning who was actually a property manager of the hotel, but it came out that he actually had nothing to do with anything, even though he lived just a few minutes away from the hotel. But other than Bruckner, there really wasn't any other suspect besides the parents. Portugal police, I believe, do still believe that the parents had something to do with it, but German police and authorities in the UK believe Bruckner did it, as they did find multiple hard drives of sexual assault on young girls in his backyard when they searched his house for actually another missing girl named Inga, who disappeared in Germany a few years after Madeleine had gone missing. So
incredibly disturbing allegations against him. Again, we mentioned he is behind bars and he maintains his innocence in regards to Madeleine's disappearance. Alex, thank you for your time. I hold out that same hope that you have and that Madeleine's parents have, that we someday will find out where she is, and we pray that she's alive. It always helps to get the cases in front of people, put her face back out there, and those age progressions help. Alex, great to see you. Thank you.
You have a great night.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.